Mortal Kombat 11 was a huge success for NRS, selling over 15 million copies and generating over $500 million in profit. But will Mortal Kombat 1 live up to its predecessor? I mean, since the release, there have been numerous complaints about this game. We're talking about invasions, gameplay, customization, you name it. But first, let's talk about the positive things about this game. And the first thing, which is super tiny, but it's a video intro, and it reminds me of the 3D era games from Deadly Alliance all the way to Armageddon. And of course, you can skip these intros, but it adds to the flavor and the culture of the game. Next up is the menu, and I think this is the most beautiful menu we have ever gotten in a Mortal Kombat game. Not the best menu, but the most beautiful one. This next one's a given, but it's the combos and the creativity. If you're like me and you play Mortal Kombat for the combos, the creativity, and the different strategies, this is your game. Every character has an unlimited amount of strategies, movesets, combos that you can perform because of the cameo system. Now, of course, are there some cameos that are completely broken and there's some cameos that everybody uses? Yes, but that's besides the point. We're in the pros right now, we're not in the cons. And speaking of creativity, you guys have to watch this video. I'll leave a link right above, but it's a mod that has actual tag team in Mortal Kombat 1, just like Mortal Kombat 9. Open up a new tab, go watch it. This mod is so much fun. The story was so good. I don't think it's as great as Mortal Kombat 9's. I think it could have beat Mortal Kombat 9's story if the third act / final act wasn't terrible. If you don't want to get spoiled, then make sure to click to this time right here. Oh my gosh, did this third act get on my nerves. Armageddon reference, awesome, loved it, was so cool. But why on earth did they have to bring in the multiverse thing again? We just had that in Mortal Kombat 11. Why bring it back in Mortal Kombat 1 if this is supposed to be a whole reset of the timeline? Oh god, I'm getting into cons now. Okay, hold up. I'm getting too far into the cons. Let me just say this one piece right here, then I'll move back to the pros. The third act just got into this whole jumble of things going on. It was way too much with multiverse and whatnot. Story was flowing so perfectly. It was very simple. It was clean. It was neat. And then it got to the very final boss / third act, and then everything was just coming out. Multiverse, all these characters, Armageddon. It's like, whoa. Like, we gotta pull it back a little bit, man. Like, that was way too much. This story could have been the best Mortal Kombat story, hands down, of all time, if they totally got rid of the whole multiverse thing, if they didn't bring in Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat 11 as the villain of Mortal Kombat 1. Oh my gosh. All they had to do was maybe give visions to Shang Tsung and Quan Chi. Maybe Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat 11, before he dies, pulls a Raiden like how he did in Mortal Kombat 9 and sends visions to himself, right? And then all of a sudden Shang Tsung gets these visions of his other lives and whatnot, and he's like, whoa, what the shit? Like, this is a whole reset of a timeline. Then he becomes evil, pairs up with Quan Chi, forms a Deadly Alliance, and that's the final boss. Instead of Shang Tsung coming from a different universe and all these multiverse characters coming together, like, they could have just kept this shit simple and clean. Ooh, okay, alright, take a breather. Back to the pros. Stages, without a doubt, are the best stages I've ever seen in any Mortal Kombat game. They went above and beyond. That was the very first thing I noticed in this game. I have to give props to the NRS team because they did a phenomenal job. And with stages also comes the music. I don't really listen to the music that much because I have to turn it down so I can put in my own music for my videos. But when I did listen to it in the beginning, it was so good. And finally, the main roster. I believe if NRS plays their cards right, this could be the best roster of all time. It can literally be Mortal Kombat 9's roster minus a few characters plus 3D era characters and incorporate all the new characters from Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11 plus your guest characters and whatnot. Like, this could be a great roster. Now on to the cons, and oh boy is there a list. Before I begin, let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat 1? First things first on this long list that I have here on my computer is customization. I'm not gonna sit here and complain and say, oh my gosh, why didn't we get 3 different items to customize like Mortal Kombat 11? Like, this is terrible. No, I'm totally okay with the 1 item customization system in Mortal Kombat 1. However, this is where they went wrong. The shit we customize for the 1 item is stupid for some characters. It is so stupid. I'll give an example. Geras and Johnny Cage. Geras, all you change is a little piece on his chest that you can barely see when you're playing the game. And Johnny Cage is his damn shades, his glasses. That's it. versus Natara, where you can customize her whole wings. Like, that is something you can visually see the change in the game. I'm not going to see Gears' chest piece or Johnny Cage's glasses when I'm playing the game. Like, why are some of these items so stupid to customize? Like, it shouldn't have been that way at all. Next up on the customization list is the palette swaps. Oh boy, do I hate palette swaps, man. I hate them so much. All right, let me backtrack. There's nothing terribly wrong about palette swaps. It's just the amount of palette swaps and the unnecessary colors for the characters. They should have taken that time to actually incorporate better skins in the game versus palette swaps that you eventually have to pay for in the store, and those store prices are outrageous. When I go into the store, I should be able to buy a costume and get all of those palette swap colors that come with it. But no, they say you have to buy all of these palette swaps individually, and they're all like $5 to $10 each. It is crazy prices. It's such a headache, dude. It's like you get a free game like Valorant or Overwatch or Fortnite and whatnot, and then of course you have your store items that cost like $5 for a skin or $10, whatever. It's a free game. I understand why those prices are like that. But when I'm paying like $70 to $100 on a game, I don't want to spend $10 more on a damn announcer voice or a skin. What the shit? That is not cool. And I feel like the counter argument to that is, well, you're just gonna have to grind in order to get the currency, or if you want to get those skins. And it's like, bro, but the amount of grinding I have to do for the shit is ridiculous. Still under customization, we have the limited intros and outros. Mortal Kombat 11. Now, I hated Mortal Kombat 11. I didn't like the gameplay at all. Mortal Kombat 1 has such better gameplay than Mortal Kombat 11. But the amount of stuff you can do in Mortal Kombat 11 outweighs Mortal Kombat 1. And a prime example is intro and outro customization. In Mortal Kombat 11, each character had around 4 or 5 intros and outros you can customize. Mortal Kombat 1, every character has 1 intro and outro. One, dude. That is ridiculous. Why is that the case? We've already limited the intro dialogues for the characters. It's incorporated into the loading screen, which is pretty cool, but at the same time, I don't want to see the same exact cinematic intro and outro of all these characters. You should be able to customize what intro and outro a character gets. And this goes along with changing skins in the game. Mortal Kombat 9, you're in the character roster, you can change your skin. Mortal Kombat X, you have different variations, you can also change your skin. Mortal Kombat 11, you're on the main roster, you have different variations, you can change your skin. Mortal Kombat 1, you get to the main roster, you can't change your skin. You're stuck with whatever skin you did in the damn customization option. Why can't I change it when I'm in the main roster? I feel like that is ridiculous. So if you're fighting with your friend and you want to change your skin, you have to exit out of the game, go into the customization tab, change your skin, go back into the game, and then you can play it. And if you want to change your skin again, you're going to have to repeat the whole process. It's such a tiny detail that I think shouldn't have been overlooked. Now we can move on to the next point, which is not customization anymore, and it's invasions mode. Let me just say this before I get into invasions. Huge props to NRS for trying something new, stepping out of the comfort zone, kind of testing the waters to see how this game mode would do, and hopefully improve that in this game or change it completely in the next. So huge props for them for doing that. However, I'm not a fan of invasions at all. I honestly found myself pretty bored when I got to like the third world, and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of boring. It's very slow paced. I'm not a fan of the board game style, but I see what they were trying to do. All they had to do was take Mortal Kombat 11's crypt and just upgrade it. That is it. And an upgrade could be traveling to a different realm, aka a new season. That is all they had to do. And that would have been totally fine. That is literally it. That is it. I can understand if it might have been a storage issue, like, okay, if we do that, this game is going to be huge. Totally get that. If that's not the reason, I'm not too sure why you guys decided to take what was clearly working and try something completely new, because that was perfect. That was probably one of the most praised things in Mortal Kombat 11 was the crypt mode, and I'm very, very shocked that they went with this invasion board game Mario Party route. I'm a fan of the crypt. When I play the game, I get my currency, I want to go to the crypt, and I just want to go to a chest, unlock it, and know that I'm going to get a brutality, fatality, skins, or whatever, right? I don't want to sit for hours playing Mortal Kombat, playing the gameplay and whatnot, then hop into Invasion / the Crypt, and then have to play more gameplay, right? Like, I don't want to do that. In Invasions, you have to go through each node and then have a fight every single time. And then there's invasion fights or whatever they're called, and they interrupt your fights, and it's like, bro, all I'm doing is just playing Mortal Kombat at this point. It's not even fun to hop into Invasions. Whereas I go to the Crypt and I get to explore, I get to open chests and whatnot, I don't have to fight. I want to go to the Crypt so I'm away from fighting. One thing that I was surprised it didn't have was a mini map. Like, you can press start and there'd be a whole map. If they replaced Invasions with fun game modes like chess combat, motor combat, puzzle combat, I would have preferred that so much better over Invasions. Next up is gameplay. Yes, I know I had a pro for the gameplay saying it's the most creative and the combos are amazing, and that is true. This is hands down one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games for gameplay of all time. But there are some cons with the gameplay as well, and one of those things being the cameos. Let me explain a little bit more. There are some cameos, or not some, there are 2 cameos that everyone goes to. Cyrex, Kung Lao. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some patch sometime soon. Maybe it'll come out before I even drop this video, but it's not fun when everyone is picking the exact same 2 cameos. Like, this game is supposed to be unlimited creativity. You can pick all these different cameos, your strategy changes. Like, that is so awesome, right? But it seems like a lot of people are just sticking to 2 cameos, and that just kind of defeats the whole purpose of the game. Next up, there's no crossplay, no online rooms, and there's no online practice mode, which is super weird. I can understand why the crossplay wasn't implemented, but to not have online practice mode or no rooms is very weird. And speaking of online practice mode, you can't even tag moves, which is like, how was that overlooked? Like, that is something that should have been 100% in the game. If anything had to been put in the game, tag your combos, I feel like, is like the #1 most important thing to put in the game. And everything that I'm explaining right now is such tiny little things that could be fixed with a patch, I feel like. I mean, I'm no gaming creator or whatever you want to call them, but I feel like these are tiny things that could be implemented into the game with a patch. Except for Invasions, you're going to have to like throw that in the dumpster and then come up with a whole new concept. And the final thing for gameplay is there's no mercy, which is such a weird thing to take out. It doesn't benefit the game and it doesn't hurt the game either. It's right in the middle ground. So I think it's a little bit weird how NRS decided to take that feature out. All right, finally, let's get into the very last point, which is the Miscellaneous tab. And we're going to start off with, you cannot disable the HUD. It's just such a weird thing to take out in a practice mode where you can't disable the HUD, especially if you want to take cool screenshots and pictures. Like, why take that out? Next up is the stats on the profile. I feel like they're completely wrong. I look at my stats and I'm like, there's no way I've played that many games. I go to play Kombat League and it tells me a completely different number. So I'm like, what is the right stat? I'm not understanding what's going on here. And when I go to Kombat League to check the leaderboards and whatnot, my stats are completely wrong. It's something completely different from my stats. It's something completely different from my Kombat League stats. So it's very weird. Next up is the shrine. It takes way too long. You probably heard this so many times already, but it's only 1,000 coins and you have to press it and wait for the shrine to give you something, which most of the time is concept art. I believe NRS needs to come up with the system like the shrine in Mortal Kombat 11, where you can give it 100,000 coins or something like that, and then it'll give you something. Maybe not just one item, but let's say like one item costs 1,000 coins, and then you put in 10,000 coins. It'll give you 10 items. So they need to implement that into the shrine in Mortal Kombat 1, because doing one item for every 30 seconds is pretty irritating. And finally, this is a nitpick. This is such a nitpick, but it's no timer noise. Now, I don't know if it's my settings. Maybe I have my settings wrong. Every time I play Mortal Kombat and the timer is running out, I don't even pay attention because there's no like clicking at the end for the timer. I've played with my friend so many times and he starts backing up and I'm like, why is he backing up for? And it's because the timer's going out and I have no idea. So if they can just implement a little clicking noise from the timer, that would be perfect. But guys, I don't want to seem like I'm completely shitting on this game or I'm hating this game. I do not hate this game. I've had so much fun playing Mortal Kombat 1. Like I said, combos and creativity. That is why I play a Mortal Kombat game, and I have got that and more playing this game. It seriously holds up to Mortal Kombat X gameplay. If they fix these cons, which I feel like are super tiny, most of the cons that I said are pretty tiny and easily fixable, then this game could hold up as one of the best Mortal Kombat games of all time. But that's it, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat 1 so far?